out of simple squamous epithelial tissue, right? So you can see that right there's the thinnest structure on this slide. You can see them pretty easily as we kind of go between
What
these
slide is this?
cochlear units here. If you go to this one up here,
Cochlear?
can you see it pretty easily kind of going on over there? And it kind of tells you kind of pretty quickly kind of what you're looking at, kind of the direction things are going to be arranged and whatnot. So what you'll see is that it separates these two ducts right here, right? The two scaly, or the two ducts, as I refer to them in lecture, where on top you're going to have the vestibular duct, which helps you remember, you're reminded by that because that thin line is the vestibular membrane, right? So the vestibular membrane is on the bottom of the vestibular duct, separating the vestibular duct from the cochlear duct, which is also known as the scalae vitae, or whatever. The other thing to kind of remember about these ducts as you're looking at them is try to remember which one's part of the bony labyrinth and which one's part of the membranous labyrinth, right? So remember the two outer ones, this one here and this one down here, are going to be the bony labyrinth, right? The two bony chambers there. And then the middle one is the membranes, right? So you have the vestibular duct here up on top, which is part of the bony labyrinth.
Make a membrane sandwich.
And then down at the very bottom, you have the tympanic duct down
I'm gonna
here.
remember
So
it now,
the
though.
tympanic duct and the vestibular duct surrounding the cochlear duct right there. So those are both bony, the vestibular and the tympanic. And then in the center of those, you have the cochlear duct being the membranous within there. You see both sides are surrounded by membrane, right? You have a lot of bones surrounding the two outer ones out here. Other thing to kind of note is the other membrane. So you have the vestibular membrane separating the vestibular duct from the cochlear duct. Then you have the basilar membrane down here, the thicker membrane, dividing the tympanic duct from the cochlear duct there. And then lastly, you have the pectoral membrane, which here has kind of been pulled up a little bit. You'll see it a little less distorted if you kind of look around at some other ones. See the pectoral membrane? It's kind of still sticking up on this one even. It's kind of coming up and looking at that. Usually it kind of looks like a wave kind of cresting over there, right? Kind of looks like a little wave coming out and cresting over this structure right here, which is the organa corti. And the organa corti is that structure, also known as the spiral organ, right? As we saw in lecture the other day. That's the structure that has the receptor hair cells in it, right? Those are the things that are going to bend and twist. Because as the vibrations come into the inner ear, into the cochlea, you have the fluid in the vestibular duct up here and in the tympanic duct down here, as well as the fluid in the cochlear duct, all starting to vibrate and cause movement within these membranes, right? Within the vestibular membrane, the basilar membrane, and the pectoral membrane. And those membranes are all going to kind of start distorting and crushing the hair fibers within the organa corti there. And if you kind of zoom in, you can see those little hair fibers within the organa corti.